Thank you very much, Hans, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for taking the time to listening to this webinar. Today, I'm going to tell you about successful business models in energy efficiency and also unsuccessful business models. But first of all, let me introduce myself a bit. My name is Remske Bouknecht. I am partner in this service design agency based in the Netherlands called ID8. And besides my work as a consultant, I've been working on a research project with Ruth Maurik from Juneworks Eindhoven, also in the Netherlands, for the IEA DSM implementing agreement called Task 25. The issues I'm going to address today are the following. First of all, it's important to understand the business one's in, and as I'm going to show you, this is not so obvious as it might sound. Then I'm going to say a few things about the difference between a service and a product-oriented business model. And finally, I also will say a few things about how to improve this service orientation or user-centeredness in a company. So why is it so hard to be successful in the energy efficiency market? This, in fact, is the question that has been puzzling us for over the last 2 years. And in order to find an answer, we have analyzed over more than 50 business models who are active in the energy efficiency market in Sweden, the Netherlands, Norway, Austria, Switzerland, and also recently South Korea joined this task. And we started to analyze their business models, some of them as well. We have analyzed cases in smart home devices, such as smart thermostats, for example, also in insulation and retrofitting, lighting, and a category we call total solutions. And for each of these cases, we mapped out their business model. We interviewed the entrepreneur or the one responsible for the business model and analyzed many available data we could find on this specific case. And although we have not a complete answer to this, quite complicated question, we do think we understand the problem a bit better. So what is the business you're in? This is the question we ask each of the entrepreneurs. What is the business you're in? What, in fact, are you selling to your customers? And many entrepreneurs would answer this question with, well, I am in the business of energy efficiency, or I'm in the business of retrofitting, or I deliver smart energy services, lighting. But many of them are, in fact, active in a completely different business. And let me illustrate this on the basis of 2 examples. Both of these examples are fictional cases, but are based on our observations. First, let me introduce you to a company we called Insulated Walls, Incorporated. And if we would ask this company, what is the business you're in, they would say to us, well, we are in the insulation business. In fact, we are the best out there. If we insulate a house, one gets the best value. We offer high insulation value, which leads to a high reduction of one's CO2 emission. And on average, one earns their investments back in less than 5 years. Insulated Walls Incorporated states their value proposition in, we say product specifics. Insulated Walls segments its market in square meters, roofs, walls, floors, big floors, small floors. And they have a head office and some sales departments in various regions. This way, they can serve their clients quicker. They can serve more roofs, more walls, and more floors. Insulated Walls is busy, very busy, streamlining their value chain. They have a strong focus on lowering the costs expressed in the service level agreements they close with every single partner. This way, they say, their clients will not pay too much, and Insulated Walls, of course, will receive a good margin. Insulated Walls is very proud to be a certified partner of the provider of the best quality insulation materials one can find. The lifetime value of this material is long, and its performance is the best one can get. And finally, Insulated Walls works very hard to close as many deals as possible. They write many quotes, and once this quote is signed and the work is done, the client will pay and the case will be closed, and Insulated Walls will move on to the next client. And then there is this company we call Cosy Living. And if we ask them in what business they are in, they would say the following. Cosy Living would say, we offer value to homeowners throughout their journey of orientation, buying, and using the insulation. We help each client to choose by offering them understandable and personalized quotes. We offer a cozy and comfortable home through insulation. However, we don't speak too much about saving energy. When the insulation work is done on the house, though, we send our clients reports where the energy reduction is visualized. Our clients are very happy with this because they live in a more comfortable home, they save on their energy bill, and feel good that they contribute to a green planet along the way. Cosy Living says they listen to their users. They learned that each homeowner likes its home designed with cozy furniture and a nice fireplace in wintertime, while others, they think of their house as ways to express themselves. And they also know that many budgets for retrofitting the homes are competing with budgets for a new sofa or a garden redesign. That is why Cosy Living puts a lot of effort in communicating with clients on how their offer meets the individual needs of each of the clients. Also, homeowners told them that orientation and buying process for retrofitting to them is a frustrating and complex process. Therefore, they have well-trained service desk and train their installers to work very user-friendly. Cosy Living aims for a long-term relation with their clients. They do their very best to provide value during this relation by providing quarterly reports on their savings and increased comfort, and along the way by approaching them with customized offers. Of course, they are not able to do this all by themselves. They cooperate with partners in order to create new and customized benefits that they might not offer them themselves, but meet the needs of their clients. They know their users, but they realize they need to stay connected with them all the time. And because they do, the user becomes part of their business. In fact, the user is their main resource and make Cosy Living work. Finally, Cosy Living doesn't focus on the transaction. In fact, they think this transaction is the starting point for a client relation. Their client, therefore, pays for the use and the extra benefits that are offered to them. So I have showed you two companies. Who work with the same product, but they created two completely different business models around this. Insulated Walls Incorporated built a business of delivering insulation to roofs and walls, while Cosy Living would say they are in the business of enabling a warm and comfortable home to live in. In the first example, the product, which is insulation material, is in the core of the offer. And in the second, the Cosy Living example, the product is the enabler of the value the user is expecting and experiencing. What we have learned from our research so far is that this product versus service focus makes all the difference in the success of an energy efficiency service provider. And let me go into a bit more detail on this. A business model tells the story on how it earns money, a company earns money, how it creates and captures value. We use the Osterwalder, as you can see, the Osterwalder business model canvas in our research because of its quality of being a common language for entrepreneurs to describe their business model. So, in a product-oriented business, a product-oriented business model typically describes the value that is being created through the production and selling of tangible goods. Revenue models focus on the transaction point where the exchange of value is being experienced. Resources and activities are focusing on efficiency and lowering the costs. In many cases, partners are chosen to complete or close the value chain. Markets are segmented, if they are even segmented, in quantifiable ways, like regions, energy use, square meters, etc. On the other hand, this is the case for insulated wall. This slide should be titled Service-Oriented Business Models. I'm sorry for that. So in a service-oriented business model, the client or the user has a much more prominent role. Ideally, the offer is tailored to a group of customers who have a common need and show a real interest in the service. The value proposition ideally is described as a process of how a service is being provided and used by a group of people. It is exactly the process and not the single moment that leads to a satisfactory service experience. Opposed to a product-oriented business, value is not experienced in exchange, but in use. Therefore, knowledge of this group of customers, the users, and also creating and keeping a strong relationship with them, as well as the ability to deliver tailored, customized experience is of great importance of the success of a business, a service business. Activities, therefore, aren't about lowering costs and efficiency only, but also about hiring and training multi-skilled staff and interacting with users on a more or less permanent basis. Now, this is not only theory. We know this because we interviewed the entrepreneur, or, as I said, the responsible person behind the business model, about their initial business model. So we asked them to describe the business model when they started their business. And we also asked them what changes have been implemented since the start. And what we saw was that companies that sell services, that is, they offer a service of which the value is being experienced in use, they report being more successful after they have adjusted their business model to a more service-oriented one. And I'll try to illustrate this. Many of the entrepreneurs told us they started with this technical product focus. Their business model is built to produce or resell this product at low costs and high margins. But once they experienced a stagnation in the uptake, and many of them did, some of them are convinced they needed extra sales force. They hired resellers or extra staff to sell their offer to their target customers. They put a lot of effort in pushing the same product harder than before. Once they realized that this didn't bring them the expected outcome, they might complain that their silly customers simply didn't understand what they really needed. We think that these type of entrepreneurs are not completely aware of the business they're in. They stick with this product focus and are convinced that they sell insulation, LED, or the newest energy control system. However, they are not rewarded with a better uptake. Others, however, they respond differently. They might start off in the same way, with an algorithm or a new innovative technology, like the insulation product in our example. And, same as their colleagues, they experienced a stagnation. Their business didn't grow as they expected. But in reaction, they didn't simply push the product harder. They made some changes in their business model. And these changes can be explained or can be seen as steps towards a more service-focused business. They might reframe their offer in terms the user understands and visualize the offer in a more attractive way, like, for example, the reframing of passive homes in an attractive, high-quality design home, in the Swedes case of friendly buildings. They might take some effort to meet the user during the pre-buying phase in order to help them make the right choice. Or they start to cooperate with new partners in order to be able to deliver new offers, like, for example, the case of the smart thermostat zone, which now is a smoke sensor and an alarm system as well. We do know that all of these entrepreneurs report a better uptake once these kind of changes were implemented in their business model. What they have done is redefining the business they're in. So the insulation example shows the two extremes of this product versus service focus, where, of course, in reality, we have found that most business models are somewhere in between this continuum. In almost every case, business models do take steps towards this service orientation. However, some of them aren't completely aware of them, and some of them don't get very far with it, don't take the right steps. Okay, we know now from our research that most entrepreneurs can be helped by rethinking the business they're in. Moving towards a service orientation does lead to a better uptake. What does an entrepreneur need to make this service focus work? Well, apart from other things like time and in many cases also money, he needs to have the right capabilities. And I will discuss 4 with you. First, sensing user needs and technological options. This capability is about engaging in a meaningful interaction with users and stakeholders to extract relevant information for fitting their services to the needs of their clients. This interaction can be about co-learning, about sharing knowledge from both sides, or about contextualizing, that is, making efforts to match service offerings with actual needs. As stated before, a service is a process of orientation, buying and using, understanding what one needs to be able to use, and also what is hindering him to use, helps the company design the service in such a way that it helps the client to reach the outcomes the client wishes for. In our example, he might need some help to link the need for a comfortable home with roof insulation, or to link the need to feel in control of a home with a smart thermostat-like tone. And when it comes to energy efficiency, this capability is very important. After all, very few users express a dire need for energy efficiency, but they do express needs for different things, like the comfortable home in our Cosy Living example, or the need to prevent a holiday cottage from frozen plumbing during wintertime, and the wish to enter a comfortable and heated cottage on a cold weekend break in the case of Hitami in Norway. In all of these cases, the user might not be interested in energy efficiency up front. However, he might be very happy to experience the lower CO2 emission or lower use while using. And the company might need to visualize this in order to help the clients experience this. The second, conceptualizing. Offering a service often means that a company has frequent interactions with its users and stakeholders. Yet, the same companies might not always be able to take a step back and uncover general patterns. Service providers who are able to conceptualize have strong induction capabilities, and they are engaged in innovation on a regular basis. So, in other words, a service provider needs to be able to translate the user needs into new solutions and applying knowledge in the choice of partners and translating knowledge in a revenue model that fits the user. A great but sad example of this capability is Greenient. This company had developed an algorithm that could aggregate P1 data of the smart meter and detect energy behavior of every single device in a household or a company. Greenient was convinced that this would help their prospect clients to detect and replace devices for more energy efficient ones. But last year, Greenient went bankrupt, and as Gert-Jan, the CEO, stated, he said, "I had a brilliant solution to a problem that I couldn't uncover." So, co-producing and orchestrating. Services often require the alignment of several different actors in order to create the end experience. Companies who are able to co-produce have developed capabilities for working together seamlessly with different partners and have strategies on how to create consistency and smooth procedures for interaction. In the case of retrofitting, this orchestration skill is hard but key. The supply side is very product-oriented indeed. Many entrepreneurs struggle with this fragmented market because it hinders them to deliver value like an understandable quote or a clean and fuss-free installation. We have stumbled on this issue in every single country participating in our research. And although we found a few cases, we take real effort to solve this problem, like Rijnmark in the Netherlands, who offers a one-stop solution for complete retrofitting, or the case of Bolig-Enok in Norway, where the installation is completely standardized for a specific type of house. They still struggle very much and aren't, very successful yet. And finally, scaling and stretching. This final capability relates to the marketing skills of the service provider and the ability to package the offering in a way that large user groups will recognize the value of those offerings. This capability is about finding and promoting a general formula for value creation. A great example of this is the Swedish company called ECI. This online magazine created a strong client base with readers. And once this company was seen as a trusted partner, they started to offer energy efficiency and solar panels and other energy efficient offerings. Scaling means not only selling more of the same, which can be seen as growing in an existing market. It also means co-creating with partners to deliver new value and enter new niches, which increases the value in use for each of the clients. So to conclude the following, Ruth and I did workshops in several countries, and many of the entrepreneurs who attended asked us for online tools and quick fixes to co-create with clients and to orchestrate their offers. Well, I don't really think these quick fixes even exist or will help them. What we need in this market is a change of mindset. Not only the entrepreneurs, but also in the context they're operating in. And they need to become aware of this need to let the user in, listening, do a lot of qualitative research, crossing borders of our market and cooperate with others, and taking time to adjust business models. The user is not only an electricity consumer, it's a human being with needs and a life, and it's the user that makes the business. So in order to be successful, one needs to mind their business. Thank you very much.